Hi guys, Jessie here, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be reacting to Season 1, Episode 8 of Star Wars Rebels. Last episode we had a fun side mission with Hera and Sabine, where they were trying to pick up some crates and doing a mystery mission for an unknown fulcrum. Did we ever find out what was in those crates? Doesn't matter. Who knows? Yeah, we learned a little bit about Sabine's past and the fact that she used to be an Empire cadet. The fact that currently the Empire is ruling Mandalore, which is super interesting. Ezra and Zeb and Chopper still are horrible at working together, constantly getting into trouble and causing trouble for other people. The most interesting thing about the episode is the fact that we learned a little bit more about Sabine and her past. And so we've so far gotten a little bit of history about each character, except for Hera. Hera I'm very interested into seeing, like, what her past is, because everyone else's motivation for wanting to join the rebellion, or I guess there's no rebellion at this point, but the fact that they all want to rebel against the Empire. Zeb, his home planet was destroyed by Imperials. Sabine, was indoctrinated into an Empire Academy, probably saw all the horrors that the Empire's doing to Mandalore. The fact that the Empire's taking over Mandalore in the first place and assuming control on a planet that has been notoriously neutral. And obviously Kanan was a Jedi and had the Empire kill literally everyone he had ever known and created a mass genocide against his people. So, yeah, I feel like everyone has pretty solid motivations towards hating the Empire. I'm just wondering about Hera because she is kind of, I don't know, she feels almost like the leader. I understand that Kanan is kind of the leader of the whole crew, but Hera always feels like, if not second in command, co-leader. So I just want to know what her motivation, what tragic thing happened in her past. Yeah, she's the one I'm most interested into knowing about. I just really like her character, but also she's kind of the one, weirdly, we know the least about at this point. So hoping we'll get a little bit more of her going forward, if not in this episode, but in the coming season. So that being said, let's just go ahead and jump into this episode.
Step outside of yourself. Make a connection with another being.
Can we do this another day?
We can do it now. Focus.
Just throw the rock.
Oh.
I don't think he wants to connect.
You're resisting. He can sense it.
He can sense it?
I think
Is he
he
like a Padawan kid?
I think he could sense that you threw a rock at him earlier.
You don't seem to be getting this.
I think this Orball's trying to kill me.
I love him. It's like if a cat was a smiley face. Yeah, that's not a good sign.
Not unless we have to.
They're probably looking for something.
This is Senator in Exile Goldface. I bring more news the Empire doesn't want you to hear. I urge you to boycott all Empire Day celebrations to protest the ongoing injustices of the Imperial regime.
Shut this off.
Can't. It's the law.
We're done here.
Mom?
Ezra.
Dad.
Ezra, we have to stand up for people in need, especially those in trouble with the Empire.
Sibo. I know where he is.
So were those like force whispers, or was that just memories.
I am Minister Marketh Cure. Governor Price sends her regrets, but she was invited to Coruscant to celebrate with Emperor Palpatine himself.
Let's hear some enthusiasm.
Enjoy the celebration, citizen.
Okay, so
Okay, let's
every
start the
Empire
celebration.
person we know is here.
You there. This area's off limits. Did you see it? It's so beautiful. All the colors, it's like a rainbow.
Dad, what are you doing? Sorry, mister. My dad is just so patriotic, you know?
Empire Day! I love it. All hail our glorious empire. Right, well, move along. Thanks. Where you been?
Making some connections. How's the plan going?
Just Be spoiling to finish things with Agent Callus.
Oh, when did you get here?
Hey, if you want to take somebody out, take out that guy. Fine.
Do you think the Inquisitor's just like, oh shit, it's these 5?
No place we can hole up till things calm down.
Like, why is it always these fucking 5?
Then we need another option. It's fine. Expect it to. Can you make it to the old market?
Affirmative.
I'm on my way. Get back to the Gulf Home. We'll signal a new rendezvous when we can.
Leaving Zeb alone is.
Sometimes you have to let your guard down.
I said I'm fine.
Ezra Bridger, son of Ephraim, and Nera Bridger, born 15 years ago today.
Empire Day. It's Ezra's birthday.
So he's the exact same age as Luke and Leia. Because if he was born. I'm guessing Empire Day is the day the Empire was formed.
Bridger.
What are we looking at?
It's everything. Imperial specs on the new TIEs and new T disruptors, schedules of troop movements, tactics and strategies. Half of it's encrypted, but it looks like there's a
So yeah, this
plan for
is
Rousseau.
really important.
Every
Tear open every rat hole in the sector. Find that Rodian.
It's Zeb.
You don't have to punch him.
I have no plans on stopping.
That's good to know.
Is your plan just to ram him? This doesn't feel like a good idea. There's a lot going on there.
This is Agent Callus, ISB-021, calling the Inquisitor. The rebels are through the main gate and headed south.
Their ship will be waiting. Slow them down. We're on our way.
I feel like sometimes Callus is more of a nuisance than the Inquisitor is. Man, that's one brave, random Empire soldier.
Get me closer.
You know, you gotta appreciate Adrian Callus's tenacity. Considering he has, on multiple occasions, gotten his ass kicked by these guys.
TIE fighters will begin mass production on Lothal within the next 6 weeks.
You're just full of fun facts.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's pissed.
Get in.
Oh, don't kill the poor Rodian.
Go, go!
God, Callus is... I mean, he's evil, but you know, he's brave to go after a Jedi with a lightsaber twice. Gotta respect that.
Ezra Bridger. Keyside, it's you.
Yeah, Zero, it's me. But now's not the best time for a reunion.
Ezra Bridger. Sibo Pascavato Paramas.
What's he saying?
He says he knows what happened to your parents.
Oh, there's a lot going on at one point. Oh, fuck. Well, that was a cliffhanger. Because I kind of assumed that Ezra's parents were just, you know, dead. So the idea that, I mean, he doesn't say, he says, I know what happened to your parents. Not, I know where they are, or, oh my god, they were taken. So he might just know how and where they were killed and why. But I never assumed that they might actually be alive. Okay, a lot happened this episode, though. So let's just kind of go through everything one by one. So one thing that I wanted to talk about was the fact that apparently Ezra was born on Empire Day. Like the day the Empire was formed. So wouldn't he be basically the exact same age as Luke and Leia? Because weren't they... I don't know the timelines of how long after the Battle of Mustafar that they're born, but I'm guessing it's the same kind of day, so... Wouldn't Ezra be the same exact age as Luke and Leia if they're all born at the beginning of the Empire? That really helps with the timeline, at least in my head, a little bit better. I don't think it really means anything that if they're the same age, though. It's just kind of an interesting connection. I also think it's just fun to see kind of the Imperial propaganda. Because, yeah, if a new government regime just kind of suddenly pops out of nowhere and completely takes over the last one, yeah, even a dictatorship would want propaganda to try to, like, calm, like, the everyday citizen into not rioting. It's also interesting to see kind of the rebellion at more of a ground level, because at this point the Rebel Alliance hasn't been formed. Everyone who is rebelling is just small sects doing whatever they can. But that just means we can see more of the everyday citizens and how, like, they feel about the Empire. Like, most of them aren't, like, actively rebelling. They just kind of just don't give a shit about the Empire. Like, even the ones who might, like, dislike it are just mostly ignoring it. Imperial propaganda, and then having... Because this is the second time we've seen that one former minister kind of trying to take over and giving information to the public, kind of like anti-propaganda. So I wonder if he's going to show up, because this is the second time we've heard his little information the Empire doesn't want you to know. So it's just going to be like a reoccurring segment, or I think we might actually... It'd be interesting to actually meet him as, like, the story gets bigger, or, like, having our group of rebels run into other rebels. I understand that it's only episode 8, and I am enjoying the smaller stories, but I do kind of want to get to the bigger things. I kind of felt this mission was going to go to hell really quickly, because basically every villain we've ever known from the show was here. So Callus himself has just been a pain in the ass, but Callus and the Inquisitor and that one guy whose name I don't remember but looks like a Tim Burton character, and there's a bunch of AT-STs and TIE fighters, and it's just like, that's a lot considering just the Inquisitor is a little too much to handle. Also, I'm just wondering about the Rodian that we ended up, Sibo, I think, because clearly he isn't really in control of his own mind because he has that implant. So I'm wondering at what point did he run away from the Empire if he doesn't have his whole mind about him? Or is that just like a recent thing? Like he was just overloaded? Probably will be answered in the next episode because two-parter. But yeah, we've seen that implant on a couple people. It's always kind of messed up. The one I always remember is the one that's with Lando. Has something similar. Like Lando has a personal assistant that has that implant. Yeah, it kind of just makes you super good at information, not that good at feelings, and I don't know. There's something about the idea of getting rid of part of your personality and brain to become a better computer that's real messed up. Also, like, because clearly that guy has a lot of information dealing with, like, TIE fighters and battle plans and just a lot of stuff. So, like, I understand that in general you really don't want that getting out to the enemy, but I wonder if there's anything super specific in there that the Empire definitely wants them not finding. Like, if there's certain sieges about to go down, is there any information on the Death Star in there? Because that would be bad. I think it's too early for anything dealing with the Death Star to come out, but, you know. Because even if there is something like that, like, if they get that information out of his head, what do you do with that? Because you're a group of 5, 6 if you count the droid, and if it's, like, information on sieging a whole planet, you don't have the Rebel Alliance to go to. You don't have the ability to set up big armies or anything, so what do you do with game-changing information at that point? Like, it might help you out in the future, but that just seems kind of a waste. Yeah, these are all kind of the thoughts that are going through my head, and most of them will probably be answered next episode or in the coming season, so. But I'm interested in seeing where it's going from here. This was a really solid episode. So that was my reaction to Season 1, Episode 8 of Star Wars Rebels. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Bye.